Abusian ram me video of school Accra, Oko school, ye unity, I say, Osun. It nearly broke my heart. Based on the video, I feel like any, Accra fear, at least visually, I don't think say be in Ghana. And even if so in Ghana, Accra, private school now here wakwa. But entering senior high, we have some ridiculous kind of normal beer. It's a Ghana, yeah. And then back home, and say we a bar, you UT, we a beam and a tape for so could down. So the video, that is what, at least a tier. But the crazy thing to me with this whole thing is this thing still necessary in the Gen Z 2025 year woman? Because this conversation, started all the time, when it comes up, then they give some kind of ridiculous reasons. But when they say for example, now why you fuga, ukwatina student to be any more classroom and you're too watching board on so and now that's the reason why it is a could be a trinity. So at least that is one. Then if that is the case, a Bruchere school classroom and a Ghana school classroom, Abusia is exactly the same layout. So why then are Morofon allowed to kind of go to school with their hair, I won't touch it, they don't cut it off because I'm a senior high. So if the reason why they check to say, Bakumbesi Bakuanima, none you didn't tell Morofon there, yes, your money, not Ghana and Kwan, yes, your money. Now it's just a Ghana deal with Necrano, the results when it comes to the whole world, and cry Nima dear pa ranked. Gengonko Finland, Gabako Ghana, but it's not Ghana. Ghana is not even part of the top 100. I don't think it's a Ghana count. So why then is that? We say I did be as a Korean time you just could 23 minutes to go. Second thing is almost say utimini gusu sana na so wabo 3 minutes. It makes you look matured. Until one share ya school now boys betches you a teacher for crowding agree binum berry one in your. So because of that, to avoid that drama and that trouble it's best to say ube you who's again. If you compare it to the West, that's not how it's done. Because you can't compare because different cultures in the. But the core thing I can't want some education. This is not like development. This is not like anything BIA extraordinary. We are talking about the basic same thing, education. And yeah, like cultural EBR, it's just the same thing, education. So if on the other side of the spectrum, they are allowed to do that, they are, they are allowed to kind of go to school with or more helpful, they like that style. And then when it comes to Kurum Ghana, then it becomes you have to cut it and yes, who's the team you will be better or stay baby. Is that really the case?
You'll be better coffee. Okay, why?
Third reason is so team mini gususana to properly keep it, time biano, ebema watch, for example, so ko school ne be a team ya basa. Afe na ube nunuma, afe na uba bet twist, ube ball, it's a kind of unnecessary cost as a student. ABA, parents need that much money to cater for it. And then ABA was a student, me for a team who by heart in school. So, to keep it, maintained, you have to, it will take time away from the time already now winning. Because when you mamping for more hair salon, some of them stay there for, hours and hours just to get their hair fixed. So if so, a student, and I say you're going through that same process, it takes away the time maybe at the attend the classes in the. So that is also one of the reasons always when it comes up, people keep mentioning. And one other thing I think I say it also differentiates the students from the teachers. Because teachers so they don't want a student to feel like so they teach any and stuff like that. And then 15 and is discipline thing. Because when the military, for example, will be all enter into the military be an more UT. I don't know about my memory. I know say you be more UT, or more a whole different thing altogether. But when it comes to education, the discipline doesn't really lies in the hair. Last couple of years ago, at Chimote School, Rastafarian kid your call way, yes, yeah, because this will Trinity, and then they were citing like, that is their religion. You can't say ordinary religion, and that will be an infringement and stuff like that. So, they eventually that case ended up in court. The school kid actually won the case, attended at Chimota, passed with serious extension, and then now, crazy school outside at Chimota were proud. Yeah. But initially, I school they say omonti ase mane for the team ma. So again, 3 me a chance and your school. Is it necessary in this Gen Z 2025 year? Because in my opinion, I don't think it matters. It's all about learning. 3 me idea be if this I could be to make people fine. I get it. It simplifies stuff because some of the reasons I made some are legit because taking care of your hair and sometimes it takes time. We do no natural hair. Because any 10 minutes here thing. Unless all the time no like cream, stuff the form, hair products and all that costs money. So if your parents can't do that, then it becomes one here because they don't need to pay boy be and then so I'm more legit reasons. But again, when it comes to the core idea, which is learning, schooling, education, really that still says so call you by force necessary. Because if you are going into the military, that I get, but schooling, come on. Private schools been mostly private schools are way better than government schools. And some private schools allow the students to leave their hair, send them pay. Some allow them to wear atade or more pay. All that are things be a man for years and will feel have some confidence be or no anymore and stuff like that. But Ghana they has a prison, yes, strip you off. Idea it makes you. You get me? I don't get it. So again, I throw the question back to you. Do you think that it's necessary in the year you will mean, the Gen Z era you will mean? Is it still necessary for a student to enter school for so be unity meaning? Akura ni hwe o ye unity no soon. And then akura no ho afa the team you go so no ho afa style be o unity still na no ho afa say amazingly. Akura no ho afa too much. But at the end of the day, you see, you get me? Is it really necessary to kind of cut off your hair because it's a Uko school? And then this whole conversation even goes a step further. You see, back in the day, way back in the day, during slavery time, that was when the 3 year started say at least when it comes to Ma. And then I think based on what I've read online, actually say, then no mu yi 3 me send a bear at least. Prevent lies, monitoring, and also for them to look, clean. That was things they were doing because of the slave trade. Years later, we are still doing the exact same thing. And sometimes, idea be happening, we don't know where it came from, but we just continue it without even asking the origin of that story. So if indeed this was how this whole haircutting thing started, then are we still kind of in, mental slavery BS? And now said there is really another reason out there. I be a minimum and I can video we want and into a general man could muti. So help me answer this question. Maybe I will read the comments in a different video, just the comments, and then at least you get to see what people were saying. Is there another reason why in Tia, aside Nema mentioned in the video, no? And second, is it still necessary in the day and age you will mean? Mami, who your comment section as well. Tap send. We are back. The number 1 app where we see a month for be brena jiatum. Ewa brechire babia. E used to send this kakoma for ewa Ghana. Bank of Ghana ya 2 but right now the app is working and working fine. For a month for ewa brechire we use to tap. They send this car. I know more reliable money transfer app where we see they send this guy seconds. Then the panel second. Who they send this guy and yoshi. No charges. And then the exchange rate, all the time, it was through. Tap send this. So you can download to phones so Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Now, you can download na send this command of war. It is safe, secure, and one of me use some send this command of war of here. Where Europe, US, even UAE, be app near Juma. No one is what I download. No one start here. You send this command of war of here.
Tap send. Papa no.